Stevie, are you okay with Arne Slot saying this publicly?
Oh, absolutely not. It seems like he's trying to be clever about it and trying to brush it off, but actually, he's just made it worse. You know, just because I keep saying it, just because somebody asks you a question, you don't have to answer it. Tell them what you want them to know. All he has to say is, well, you know, I'm sure it was a mistake, but I'm sure he'll learn from it. I mean, how difficult is that? Not try and be clever and talk about bomb scares and crime scenes and all that. Try to make it fun. There's nothing fun about it, and there's nothing fun about it if you're Canati.
Yeah,
because he's just doubling down on him.
Mario, you can talk about your fellow Dutchman here.
Yeah, but I can talk about my fellow Dutchman. He's not, you know, like not at his best form at the moment, or let's say it like this, too many responsibilities around him. But what I heard Ari say, what Stevie said, it was identical, because this question was, they asked me that too. And I literally said that in Holland, we are too detailed with explaining things. When you're in England, you don't talk that much, because the more you speak, the more bombs you are laying down for yourself. Slot has to stop to explain too much. He goes too much in the details. And then your team players are going to look at you and going to say, Coach, are you every day going to drop a bomb on me? Or are you just going to keep it quiet and tell me in the dressing room? Because in the dressing room, I can handle it.
OK, Mark, I want to talk to you about this whole Konate situation and the defender situation at Liverpool right now and what we might be seeing in January.
Well, they've got a big problem, haven't they? Because obviously the kid Leon from Italy, he got injured and he's out for the rest of the season, Leone. So that one's out of the window. So they've got no cover apart from Joe Gomez. Konate's contract expires at the end of the season, but I don't think there's any prospect of him either signing a contract or actually being handed a contract. So Liverpool need to bring somebody in, but they've kind of missed the boat with Mark Gueye. You know, Mark Gueye was the guy that they wanted and they failed to do that. Now, Mark Gueye's got options elsewhere. You know, he'll have options in the summer. We discussed this last week. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich are all keen to take him on a free transfer. We know that Chelsea like him. We know that Man City like him. Right now, and I know that Stevie disagrees with me on this, I think Liverpool is a bad move, because you go to Liverpool and you either play alongside Konate, who's out of form, or you play alongside Van Dijk, who is not the player that he was, and you're going into a team where the manager might not be there in 4 or 5 weeks. So for me right now, if I'm Mark Gueye, I'm saying thanks, but I'll wait till the end of the season. So beyond that, the options are limited. The options to get a top quality centre-half in January are very thin on the ground, especially one who's as cheap as Gueye would be, because you're looking at maybe £20-25 million because of his contract situation. So they've missed the boat there. They've caused themselves a big problem.
Do you think he still wants to come? You were saying so last week.
Well, I'm afraid I've got to say to Augie that I believe I was wrong when we had that conversation. Haven't had time to think about it. I think everything you just said there is probably right. You know.
Thank you, Stephen.
No. Hey, you can't be right all the time.
He's taking it, Stevie.
I can't be right all the time. Unfortunately, it's not quite as often as I would like. But yeah, I'm afraid I agree with Augie. When you look at other options, we're talking about bomb scares. I mean, right now, that's kind of what Liverpool is, because nobody has any clue what's happening. So.
Well, you took a good weekend off, Stevie. Let's just say that.
That's it. He wishes I was still off for another week.
Oh, yeah.
How bad can things still get for them if they don't reinforce Xhaka?
Oh, no, it can continue to go down. I mean, this is a team that right now is playing with absolutely no confidence, despite them being reigning Premier League champions. You've got a disgruntled Mo Salah. You've got players who are not playing well and going out of contract. There's a lot that's just up in the air for Liverpool right now. And then to the point, who comes in January to make that significant a change? Who will want to come to Liverpool? Kind of give them some of the options that Liverpool shops in a certain market. And I'm not sure how many of those players change from wherever they are to come to a club that right now on the face of it is not going to be playing Champions League football next season. Even if you somehow outbid everybody in January for Mark Gueye, which is a desperate need, how willing are Crystal Palace to let him go in January? Crystal Palace right now sitting fourth. I know it's still in December. Crystal Palace are sitting fourth. But let's say we get to the end of January and Crystal Palace is still in the top four. Is it worth more to them to keep him and let him go on a free transfer than to take 25 million and risk that Champions League position. So I think Liverpool have just found themselves in a position here where I'm not sure who the players are that comes in that sparks this team, lifts this dressing room, and pushes Liverpool to a top 4 finish. That player isn't available in some mid-table club.
And now they've got Inter to take on in the Champions League. How do you see this game going this week? Do you think this is going to be a shadow over them?
What, another defeat?
No, more just like, how much do they step onto the pitch? Like, can they brush this off them, or is this going to be hanging over them?
I don't think it'll be hanging over them. I think they did the right thing in not taking Mo Salah. That means everybody who's in Italy will be able to concentrate on the job in hand. I mean, it won't change the fact that Liverpool will struggle on the field, because that's all they've done all season. So in terms of this actual fixture, then it's hard to see how Liverpool get anything from it. But in terms of not having Mo Salah there, they have a better chance of getting something from it than they would if he was there and sitting on the bench, for example. Because again, nobody would care about the game. It would all be about Mo Salah sitting on the bench again. So they've done the right thing in leaving him at home, but unfortunately, I don't believe it will change the outcome of the match.
Any thoughts on how it might play out, Mark, this situation, this game against Inter?
Well, I think just as an aside, I mean, I think it's important when Cody Gakpo's injured, he's out for 3 or 4 weeks. So, you know, no Salah for God knows how long, no Cody Gakpo, so it puts a lot of pressure on Isak and Wirtz to finally come good. So, you know, maybe this could be the making of Liverpool this season, that, you know, the new boys that came in with the big price tags, it's their time to deliver. And they have to deliver without, you know, Mo Salah hanging over the shoulder. You know, they can't turn to Gakpo. So, you know, let's look at a positive spin. This could be the making of Liverpool. It could be the time when, you know, Isak and Wirtz start to deliver. But I think it's a tall order because they still get issues at the back. But I think Inter away is a very, very tough game. I think Brighton at home, they have to win that game, and Brighton have been a bit up and down. But for me, it's all about, can Wirtz and Isak now finally deliver on what the club expect them to deliver?
Oggy, can you just remind me of the positives again? That you were talking about?
Well, I'm trying to put a positive spin. Maybe Wirtz and Isak will come out of their shell a little bit now that Salah's not available, and maybe. You know, you can't be negative all the time.
You can't be negative all the time, Stevie. You
Stevie.
can't be negative all the time, Stevie.
Mark Ogden trying to be positive. Help us.
Well, he actually, the answer he gave me was what I thought he was going to give me. He actually doesn't have an answer for that.
Mark, thank you so much for bringing some sunshine to his day.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Thanks,
Steve did say earlier, if you can't answer a question, don't answer it. I just didn't answer it.
You got me. That's twice in one show.
And on that bombshell, Mark, thanks so much for being with us, Mark. We'll be hearing from Mark Ogden.